Hello, welcome to Subjective Insights. Got a migraine today, so really not feeling my best. But in pursuit of my aim of just putting all the shit out there, I shall make a video anyway. Today, I'm going to talk about the news, right? I'm not going to talk about a specific event in current affairs, but about how I pick what kind of news reports I gun for. To cut a long story short, I will elaborate on this, but to cut a long story short, I think I use the same method as a football supporter does for choosing what football team they're going to choose. So, I've read a lot of Marx and I've read a lot of capitalist literature, and of the two, I think the Marxian kind of theory and system makes more sense of capitalism and kind of the consensus on history than does the capitalist, especially the neoliberal kind of interpretation of events. Now, I have more certainty with regards to my opinion concerning Marx and capitalism as systems, because there you can study the game rules, and then you can see that certain consequences and repercussions are necessary given the game rules. So given capital accumulation, where you have a group of people trying to turn £10 into £20, trying to accumulate capital, and given the nature of compound interest to increase in value exponentially, and given that the system, that the reality is not an exponential system, that you cannot exponentially increase how much you're taking from it forever and ever and ever without any kind of repercussion. I think capitalism doesn't acknowledge the reality of compound interest and its conflict with the reality of like the kind of wealth producing or productive markets. And essentially what compound interest is, in order for it to keep accruing, it has to push the labourer down and down and down. So I'm pretty certain of all of that. Now, recently on Facebook, I put up a post talking about the genocide of Palestinians by Israelis, and somebody just put in capital letters BS. Now, that article itself, I don't know how to verify, right? I'm not in Israel. I haven't been in Israel over the last 30, 40, 50, 100 odd years to watch and see how that history has unfolded. I haven't been there to see if there is actually a kind of genocide of Palestinians. I'm in a position of having to rely upon hearsay for information concerning what's going on in the Middle East, because I'm not there. And as I look around at different news outlets, I find that there is a proliferation of mutually exclusive narratives, right? That one person's saying one thing and another person's saying a completely contradictory thing. And if you look for yourself, you will find the same to be true of almost any news story. For example, Venezuela. So on the Venezuelan thing, I side with the Maduro. I think that the coup's being orchestrated by America and that to get their hands on the oil. But do I know this for sure? No, I don't. It just seems to be in line with my kind of socialist tendencies. So I kind of pick what I believe and what I will tell other people I think is true concerning current affairs based upon my socialist bias, right? Now, I don't see what other way I have of deciding or choosing between different narratives about Venezuela or about Israel or about Russia or China or anything that's going on, because there is a proliferation of mutually exclusive narratives from all the media outlets. And given that I'm not there on the ground, I don't have, you know what I say about how you verify a statement. If I say the tree has green leaves, and you want to check whether that's true or not, you look at the tree to see if it's got green leaves. I cannot do that procedure with current affair items, you know. I don't think, and neither can you, neither can anybody else. So how are you picking what side of the argument you're believing in? It's going to be based upon your bias. You'll either have a right-wing bias or a left-wing bias, a capitalist bias or a socialist bias, and that will determine what side you believe or what side you promote. And it's not a bad thing. I don't know what else you could possibly do. How else you could possibly choose? Because we don't have access to the actual way of discerning the truth in that situation. Anyway, goodbye.